Yes, yeah.
How are you guys?
Cold.
Dhruv, can you hear us?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm good. We're good. Hi, guys.
How are you all? Like, okay, we just broke the ice thoda sa, danced on it a bit. So,
Wait.
dude.
Yes.
Yeah,
Guys,
we're
I was
audible.
checking if the stream is working. Yes. And I can hear
Cool.
myself. Why can I hear myself?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
probably my phone, like just echoing a
That's
little.
it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
My bad. My first fuck up.
You can't say
So
the
it
F
is.
word on air.
It's not.
If we can, I saw Vaibhav do this in his live the other day, and I think I saw
This
Aditi
is
as well.
this
So
is
I'm
a
pretty
reference
certain
from
we can.
no, but this is the reference from the boat that rocked. Have you not seen the boat that rocked?
No,
I
I
highly
haven't.
recommend it. I wanna take over the British film recommendations and recommend the boat that rocked. In which they talk about the first F word that was ever said on air. So I think that's my big
Interesting.
contribution today. Thank you for
So,
the awkward silence.
so it is Dhruv's first live. So we are going to try and make it as homely, as warm as we can for him. That didn't sound wrong, right? Yeah. So what are we going to read today?
I
Okay.
even got a heater.
Such a great housewarming gift, Sukaran.
Yes. Because he's the only one in a t-shirt. And we are like,
It's not a
Yeah.
t-shirt, come on. It's
How cold is it in
hot.
Delhi?
It's as cold as you want it to be, honestly. It's not that cold that people brag about. For you, Himachali people especially. But सही है यार, चल रहा
you
है.
Himachali people.
अच्छा, first offense.
No,
Oh.
I think Himachali people feel cooler. Like not cooler. Yeah, colder that way.
Vaani, there's a message
Like
for
in what
you.
sense?
I know Aditi is there. She's like, oh, Vaani, please.
He's asking you
No,
to
oh,
keep
please.
Dhruv in check.
Vaani, please keep your guests in check. Sukaran and Dhruv.
Dhruv, look,
Yeah,
see,
yeah.
you say
Thank
the
you
F
for the
word and
advice,
people are getting
Aditi.
offended already. See?
Why you have this Himachali bandwagon joining you in the live stream? Fuck, I should have asked people to join to back me up.
We need
Come on,
Delhi.
we
See,
need
that's
some
how you know
Delhites
he's
in the
from Delhi.
house.
Dude,
His first
I
reaction.
honestly feel like a teacher trying to discipline the
You
kids.
have.
Okay, so I'll tell you what though. I do feel cold. Okay, I'm not like a hot
Yeah.
person. I feel cold, but I do feel I feel cold in like certain parts. So my feet are always really cold. My hands are fine.
This statement just got progressively worse as it continued.
I am taking cue from you, Super. And you're the one who said that people don't give two shits about what book you're
Oh
reading.
God, I love it. I love it. He's
Guys,
like
you're
there's
giving
specific
content.
parts. There are only specific parts
But
that get
I
cold.
think I hate this notion that Himachali people do not feel cold. I don't know. I, okay, fine. I feel very cold. Yeah.
Big value add today. I love it.
Cool.
7 minutes into the stream, the two big
You know
value
what
adds
you
have been
like.
said, fuck on air, and your
Kiska
Alexa
Alexa bola?
started talking. So this happens.
That's
This
my
happens to us in every stream. So I've
Basically,
made it a point to turn off
Vaani's,
my.
Vaani's Alexa is quite desperate to join in.
The
And
microphone is
No, that
muted.
wasn't my Alexa.
shit.
That wasn't my
It's
Alexa.
mine.
That's
It's picking
Dhruv's.
up on cues. Yeah, it's mine. It's Google.
Oh.
Alexa.
Google wants to
Oh,
be.
no.
Okay.
Cool. ठीक है. What are we going to? Oh, 46 people are watching us. So, what are we going to
Hello.
read
How
today,
are you
guys?
doing today?
I
Are
think
you
we missed you,
asking?
Dhruv.
Sorry, I'm just saying hi to my 46 people.
47.
47 now.
Cool. So, what are we going to read today? Does any?
We should have like choreographed this. You should have said letters and I should have said from. And then, there's just an and then we all together said astrophysicist.
Yeah. So, are we doing that now?
Yeah.
Go, Sukaran. What are we reading today?
Oh, we are reading letters from an astrophysicist because Vaani wouldn't let me read Into the Wild. Because we need to be a little more scientific. No, I think it's a very cool thing. Thanks for introducing me to this book. I genuinely picked it up because of you. talking about it
Forcing it on
and
you.
forcing it down my throat and saying ye to padni hi padegi. But I think that's in I was when I was reading this book, and in general when I talk about Neil, I find it very interesting that in our country, even though I would say, we're quite equally religiously zealous, nobody actually stops and questions like evolution, while back
Yeah.
in this, or says the earth is flat. Like, I don't know of another person in my vicinity who says the earth is flat, which is a debate that happens way, way often in the West. And people like him are often sitting and explaining, no, guys, no, the earth isn't flat. And no, evolution really did happen. So I think it's very interesting that somebody who is not in entertainment per se has managed to get this kind of fan following, you know,
Yeah.
even
Can
though
I
he's
comment something? It's like it might be offensive. So,
go
fun
for it, go
fact,
for it.
Dhruv,
Yeah.
Sukaran was the ICSE topper of his batch. I think he was the district topper, right? And now I realize why. Because for every 5 mark question, he must have written like 2 page answer.
I can
And then
complete this. Yeah.
underlined with a pencil all the important points.
Nice, man. So I mean, like, you guys are into the universe and all of this physics thingy. Sukaran, like, she practically shoved it down your throat. But then, were
Yeah.
you like aware of this world, and were you like inclined towards? Have you read other stuff uh, in this line?
Yeah, actually, I think it all started because I once accidentally picked up Stephen Hawking,
Right.
and the book started by saying that I promised myself that I can write about theoretical physics without putting in any formulas, but I will put in one. And he put in E is equals to mc square.
Yeah.
And it's an entire book, The Brief History of Time, which talks about some fairly mind-bending concepts without having a single mathematical equation, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's where I started with this genre per se. And then I had my phase of reading stuff like Richard Dawkins and all, which was about genealogy and genetics. That was my big area. I recently went back to Stephen Hawking only again, to again the whole black holes and bit. But this is the first book from Neil deGrasse that I'm reading. So yeah, this was
What
new for
about
me.
you,
From
Dhruv? Had you heard of him pehle or
Yeah, I mean, like, he's this ubiquitous figure, man. Like, he is this like father figure of this universe and scientific thing. He's like, "Aajo bachcho, tumhe batata hu kya hota hai." And a lot of it
yeah,
also happens in the West, as Sukaran also pointed it out, because a lot of people are so not aware of what the world is like, that you had this documentary about, Earth being flat and all of it. And
yeah,
in the book also, when I was like listening, so I actually listened to the audiobook of it last night, and so the lot of questions that people are asking him are really about, they're looking out for a father figure in him. And they're saying,
yeah.
please tell us if this is, and he's like, no, kid, this is not how it's supposed to be. This is what it is about. So, yeah, I feel like he has a very interesting point of view about everything. And he has a very nice way of, really after Richard Feynman, if you take Carl Sagan, if you take those people were there back in the 90s, but now the only voice you have is Mr. Tyson. And I think, yeah, he's doing some pretty interesting work.
He also has a podcast, right? I think I told you about it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
did you
yeah.
get a chance to listen to it though?
No, I haven't. I have listened to a couple of his podcasts, though. I haven't really gotten a chance to listen to his podcast, Abhi. But I hope I'm able to check it out later on. Definitely, this book piqued my interest. मतलब काफी interesting थी.
True. So, shall we get into the book, guys? So, for those of you who have just joined, we are reading Letters from an Astrophysicist. I hope we'll cover some of part one, right? Some bits of part one. So, this book is divided into 4 parts, and we are hoping to cover some of some bits of part one, right? Or if you guys want to cover something like completely different, that's up to you as well.
we
Awkward
should we should
silence.
definitely cover extraordinary claims because
Yeah.
that's as clickbaity as it will get. This
Yeah.
this this stream should have been called, Vaani, Dhruv, and Sukaran discussing their real life experiences of UFOs.
Hey, we were discussing about this
Yeah,
UFO that we once saw, right? On our trip
yeah,
to,
yeah. Oh my
yeah,
God, you remember that? I mean, like, we don't know what we saw, but we saw something. Yeah.
true.
Just
guess
Pahadi things.
The mic
Dhruv is
was
from
not
Delhi.
on.
Come
To turn it back on, press the button on the back
Come
of Google
on.
Home.
Saptarshi is late, and but Saptarshi, see how I'm noticing that you're here. I'm saying hi, unlike what you did when I came to your stream. So, thanks.
Yeah, where we at?
So
Where were we?
we
UFOs.
start with part one, but I definitely think we should talk about part two as well. And then maybe I would really like to know, if anybody else who's watching the stream has had an experience or seen something or has a claim.
Like
that
aliens,
would be fun to
UFOs.
know.
I think in India it's mostly ghosts. Nobody talks about UFOs or aliens. It's mostly ghosts and I don't know,
Please.
supernatural things.
Please, Rakesh Roshan
Dhruv,
will
which
kill himself.
shampoo do you use? I just saw this random comment. I'm sorry. No
Whoa.
name number 2. Dhruv, what shampoo do you use?
Actually, as a matter of fact, I haven't used any shampoo in the last 6 months.
We
There you
could have
go.
gotten a sponsor, but okay.
Yeah.
No, but then this is like actually a very interesting thing that I discovered, that you don't need to use a shampoo. It's like a
Yeah,
complete
true.
capitalistic fad that people have out there, that you need shampoos. However, you don't.
Thank God I don't still work where I used to work. This is how I lose my job. Because Dhruv comes in and says, guys, we don't really need shampoo at all.
But we don't actually. But yeah. But then I don't know.
I don't know. Vaani, what do you use? Because, I do know
I
you
don't
go
know.
get hair
Cool.
spas. So,
It's fun. Like it's self-pampering. Getting a hair spa.
go for
Dhruv
it.
is
Go for it.
clueless right now.
He's like, hair spa? ये तो बहाल भी नहीं
Wooden
दिए।
factory, hair spa, kaha?
Okay. So do you guys want to start from chapter 2, Extraordinary Claims?
And you want to start with that? I thought you wanted to start with the chapter 1 only. But I was like, just let's definitely go to chapter 2.
Okay, just 1 second, guys. How does this thing work? Actually, you really have to handhold me here. I am on my Zoom
Oh,
call, so
sure.
when to access the PDF, I have the PDF with me.
Okay. Are you using it on your phone or on the laptop?
Laptop.
कुलदीप like Cosmos से सीधा cosmetics पे आ गए ये लोग।
Guys, तुम्हारे comments है यार. We are respecting your comments.
हम आ रहे हैं वापस. Don't worry.
Okay. Someone has commented that Raj, I think, and there was one more comment before it. Astrophysics for People in Hurry. I actually want to buy this book as well. It's by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Okay, Dhruv, are you on? Do you have the PDF,
I
Abhi?
figured it out. Yeah.
Cool. So I think we'll start from, what do you say, page number, I think for PDF, it will be page number 9. If
Cool.
I'm not wrong. Chapter 1, Hope. I'm not sure what will work, what won't, what we, like, what's interesting and what's not, but I really like the first one.
There
So
is
Talking
okay. You
about
gonna
the-
do hope first? Okay.
Talking about the
There's-
prologue section or what?
Hope, chapter 1.
The first one.
Okay. Oh, that's page 15 on my. ठीक है.
Oh, on mine too. Good. So we are on the same kind of. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Cool. I'll go. ठीक है. Hope. It's all you have when you realize you're not entirely in control of outcomes. But without it, how else do we cope with the challenges of life? Coma. Sunday, February 25th, 2007. Dear Mr. Tyson, I have long suspected that we do live in a universe that wants to kill us. So I am not surprised you say this in all your talks. But where is the hope? Or isn't there any? I spent 13 days in a coma in 2001 and miraculously returned to life to continue with my dear husband. He sang me a love song and invited me to return, and I opened my eyes and smiled at him. However, I am forever changed by the extent of information I came back with from that sojourn, and much of it was not good. Is the not good part of the majority of what's out there, is in your view? If so, how do we really enjoy life? Or don't you? Highest regards, Sheila Van Houten.
Sukaran, do you want to take it from here?
Or do I also have to get a deeper voice? Be more authentic. Actually, had something in my throat. Okay. Dear Miss Van Houten, I see two kinds of hope. One of them is a kind of religious hope where one pays or performs some kind of cultural ritual for things to get better. But there is another kind of hope. It's the challenge of learning about the real world and using our intelligence to change things for the better. In this way, it's the individual who is empowered to bring hope to the world. So, yes, the universe wants to kill us, but on the other hand, we all want to live. So, let's find a way together to deflect the asteroids, find the cure to the next lethal virus. That didn't age well at all. Mitigate hurricanes, tsunamis, volcanoes, etc. This can only be enabled by the efforts of a scientifically and technologically literate public. Therein lies a hope on earth far greater than ever promised by the act of prayer or introspection. Sincerely, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Can I say something at this point already, Vani, or do you want to start?
No, no, I don't want to start. Please say.
No, again, I think his last line, his
Wait,
yeah,
is it going to be long?
no,
I'm
no.
so
I was
sorry.
just thinking that
Yeah,
yeah. His
yeah, yeah,
his
yeah.
last line is him very tightrope walking, talking to a public that's gonna get offended by the battle between religion and science, and him saying that I'm gonna give you a two-line answer on how religion helps and how prayer helps, but here's a bigger answer on how being technologically advanced is gonna be better for you, and that's where hope should
I
come
know.
from. But and then he kind of tries to save himself at the end by being diplomatic. So horrible that we have to still do that, justify our intent.
Yeah. Okay, before anyone says anything, there's this guy in the comment who's read all the books by Neil deGrasse Tyson, which is interesting. Mahesh, okay, his name is Mahesh. So what was your favorite book? And do you think, like, I think Letters from an Astrophysicist is a good in point to reading Neil deGrasse Tyson. I don't know, let me know your thoughts about it. And we were at hope. I'm really sorry. So yes, the universe wants to kill us, but on the other hand, we all want to live. What are your thoughts on that? Or guys, like, why do I have a bunch of clueless students in my class?
मैम like, अब तो GCP कर ही देते हैं, and then let's just no this is what I think. This trope is not new, no, like and of course we are
Yeah,
talking fact here, but if you go to fiction also,
I
this
love
yeah,
how
go for it, you've cut me
I'm so
already.
sorry.
It's on record now that you've cut me. Everybody saw that.
Cheap thrills. But I love how even if you read all his letters, it's how he'll just give you a fact and then quickly come back with like, but ye bhi hota hai. It's okay.
Yeah, but
Did
this whole idea is such a romantic idea, no? That against all odds we will survive, and when all hope is lost, we will come back. You've seen the film Oblivion, Tom
Yeah.
Cruise, yeah. In that, the whole idea that there was a war and we won, and now but we have to leave the planet because we lost the planet, and he says, but that's not winning because we lost then, right? Because we have to leave. But the whole idea that against all odds we won is what is still driving him to do a job every single day, the same thing again and again, living one person, because the idea that against all odds you were able to do something big trope, common trope.
do you guys
There's
want to
also
go?
there's also a big
Yeah,
chat happening about how he predicts Corona one, which is funny because now once it happened, everybody found out that, oh wait, so Bill Gates talked about this like a decade ago. Oh,
yeah.
NDT talked about it 5 years ago. We all knew it was going to happen, and then we just did nothing about it. I was incidentally in the just around the beginning of Corona, sometime around April. I was working on a project on HIV/AIDS, and which was the first time I read that currently there are two pandemics going on in the world. One of them is HIV/AIDS. We just don't consider a pandemic anymore because it doesn't spread by you sitting next to somebody, so you don't consider it. But technically, a pandemic is when a single virus is gone uncontrolled across a population, and
Yeah.
you're trying to battle to get rid of it. HIV is still there. And I was like, wow, we never think of that like that. And then Corona comes in just because it's in the SARS family and spreads by breathing, and suddenly you realize, oh how do we tackle this now? And then I made my mom and dad watch Contagion, and they really freaked out. They're like, "यही तो हो रहा है, क्या ये होने वाला है?" I was like, oh God.
That's interesting. Were your parents okay after it?
No, I don't. I've never seen them so morose after watching a film. They were just like, this didn't end well. I think worst for them was because the film does not have a conventionally happy ending. You know, one
Yeah.
that we've been fed by books and movies and TV shows through the years, that it ends well. It doesn't really end
God.
well per se, right? Like,
But that's classic Soderbergh style also, if you think about it.
right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes.
classic Soderbergh. That's how he leaves you hanging. And also, to circle back on the point of how this HIV, AIDS, and this entire pandemic has kind of... So very interesting talk I was listening to of Naval Ravikant with like an interview. Basically what he's saying that these are viruses, right? So we have basically come across every other medical contingency that we may have. Like we have a fix for it. Viruses are the only thing which are left, which are like so minute, and they are fucking... basically they are modifying our DNA to an extent, right? And these kind of things which are happening, or these events that are happening, they are bound to increase in frequency going forward. So the last we had, I don't know what, like 2004 or 5, when the Wuhan something happened, and then there was this
Yeah.
SARS-2 thing, and then within the next 10 years we have COVID. So the frequency of these is bound to sort of go up from here. And this is what I guess Neil is also trying to give people hope, in the sense of religion, that okay, science nahi samajh aata to chalo
Yeah.
religion se thoda sa to you have to understand things from their perspective. So I think this is what Neil does really well, is he goes down to the level of these people and makes them understand on their level. So he's not spitting out theories in the sense that a normal person won't be able to grasp. He is sticking to his opinion or his ground to an extent. However, he's also allowing you to take a peek into his world and see things from his perspective. That's my opinion.
Yeah. But this is something my father tells me as well. I don't know if you guys will agree. The superstitions and the religion that essentially flows down, all these traditions were actually scientific theories which could not be, some of them could not be explained to the common public. So they just made it a sort of ritual, and now it just carries on blindly, most
Yeah.
of it.
This is something we spoke of in the last stream as well, because we are talking about mythology and the whole idea that a lot of things that you can't explain, how
Yes.
that's the first port of call is religion. A
How
little jump if you-
are you guys religious in ways like
how
I'm just like everyone like
This got heavy pretty quick.
yeah, it's
it's
just
just not necessary for you to like stick to one famous is there like a tier in religions as well? Just asking for a friend.
there are for a friend, not coming from me, but what I've heard is that they do, if you're studying theology from that perspective, they look at the age of it in terms of how old is the genesis of a religious movement, to be able to see where it has reached in its stage of evolution. And there are of course markers used to define whether you are looking at a physical image, or you're looking at a mental concept, or you're looking, and so on and so forth, from a ritual and all perspectives. So yeah, they do in that sense sort of tiers, but not
Yeah,
really.
great. Then I have an answer to mine.
Saptarshi has
understanding.
seen the future, by the way. Vaani's cancelled over
You don't
asking
have to read
religion.
the line out loud. They're too
Arnab
busy
wants to
defending
know.
other people right now. I don't think they care about my answers. But yeah, like what about you, Dhruv?
My religion?
No, are you like religious? Like you could have your own religion of sorts, cult following, whatever. Shit,
really.
what
You have a
is
cult
wrong?
following?
I'm really
Dhruv has a
sorry.
cult following?
No, I'm just saying, like,
No,
moving on.
Yeah, I mean, like, so
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an answer to this by saying that whichever religion I've tried to kind of align myself to has ended up disappointing me after a point in time. It's not that I haven't looked at religion as like a crutch, because most of the people look at religion as a
Yeah.
crutch at some point in their life. So I was really into Osho at one point. So back in my school, I was really into Osho. So I ended up reading a lot about it. And I do still agree with a lot of his concepts. However, then that documentary came out and it fucking broke my heart. So right now, like the only religion is, again, like as Saptarishi, my bro said, is physics. I mean, so
Don't try to
I
steal
see what you
Saptarshi from
did there.
me. Yeah. Dhruv? No, I call dibs on it.
no,
And
but then
he's
again,
super
so
chatted
I
me.
just got done with recording this one, like Chalchitra's episode, like just before this live stream. And the topic or the podcast that I'm covering in this week's recommendation has a very interesting line in it.
Yeah.
Is that so physicists all across the world are trying to work on this unified theory of everything, right? So you have
Yeah.
this particle theory, which is the relativity theory put by Einstein, and then there's a quantum theory by Bohr. And the particles from the relative or the particle world do not behave like they're supposed to in the quantum world, and the unified theory is supposed to solve all of that. So there's a very beautiful line that physics is actually the answer or the alternate to religion that everyone in the world is looking out for, and we don't have a definitive answer to that right now. So there's all the
Yeah.
more reason for you to keep looking ahead and figuring things
True.
from a scientific angle. So that's
Yeah,
where
because
I'm at.
if you think of religion as something that can give you the answers that logic can't, or like common sense can't, and therefore you look at it to understand God's plan. In that sense, that's what physics would do. It would explain to you how this, right from how we this universe was formed to how it behaves, the rules of the playing field. That's what's supposed to define it. So makes
Yeah.
sense.
Cool.
I like how Vani is trying so hard to be as diplomatic as she can and being considerate of everyone's religious preference. Wow,
Yeah, I
people
mean,
don't
to
know
each his
you.
own, right?
What about
Okay.
you, Ani? What's your religion?
I don't know. I'm experimenting. Yeah. I don't know. I'm still in the phase of coming to terms with what I want to believe in and what will help me get through life.
But
Yeah.
what's the take on religion? Like, do
I
you think there
just
is
feel
a
some.
religion?
Sorry.
Do you think there is something like a religion? There is something more to what we kind of give
I
religion to.
am not a believer that way. Like, I don't know if God exists or he doesn't, or she doesn't, or it doesn't. But like, there are people who believe in him, and why not? And they get through life just as fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out things for me. But yeah, like
Th-
right now, my main motive is मुझे रात को ढंग से नींद आनी चाहिए. That's my goal right now. But yeah,
Nice.
I'm still figuring it out. And Sukaran is ignoring us and he's commenting, chatting with his bro Saptarshi. OMG.
Chatting with my
Look
bro
at
because
these
Dhruv is trying to
guys,
steal.
yeah. There is a comment
Yeah.
by Aditi. All I know is a Cosmo without answers does not mean one is lost, one is free. Wink emoji. Nice.
That's not a wink emoji, that's a crying emoji.
Oh.
You totally changed the meaning right there. This is why texting is a
I
bad idea. Like, one is not, so one is free. Versus one is not, one is free. This is
I'm sorry.
vastly
I
different. Oh
am
god.
I'm bad at texting. I'm the worst person. So Sukaran is the person who's taught me texting. I was
Yes,
really
I
bad at
I have
texting.
actually I could scroll up my text message and find Vani's message. Can you teach me how to text? I don't think I know how to text people. But yeah, no, I actually
Because people
completely
expect
agree. What?
yeah,
Oh,
because
sorry, no,
people
we are still
expect
talking about you
lengthy
texting.
replies, right? I mean, I don't know about you, Dhruv.
And then Vani writes,
But people,
okay.
yeah, I just reply, okay, cool. ठीक है तुमने बोल दिया है. You expect me to go like, okay, comma, I will wait for it with a smiley. I just go like, okay, cool. That's
Yeah.
it.
You I'm sorry, but I'm jumping back into the conversation that was happening there. You've seen Prometheus.
Yeah.
And I hate how I think I really am in a bad on a wrong streamer because I reference movies more than I reference books here. But the whole idea that when you meet your creator, you're going to be very disappointed. because and and therefore the fact that even if you don't have the answers, that's not you being lost, that's just you being free. Like, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, man. Like again, so there's this comment by this guy. I don't know, like be a Buddha now. Basically, people have to practice spirituality. Simple understanding theories, it won't lead you anywhere. Practicing spirituality can lead you to a lot of realization. So essentially, I mean, the point would be that we are always looking outside for answers. Like we are looking that there is a higher power that will figure out all of our problems and miseries for us. And the only simple act of looking within you and like just sitting with yourself for a moment can give you all of the answers that you're looking your entire life for everywhere. And no shit, you're going to be disappointed when you meet the creator, man, because he does not have time for you. You're not special, you're not a snowflake. So you are your
We
own.
saw the Fight Club stream, that's where that came
This is
from.
about movies, man. Like forget about
You're not a snowflake, you're a space monkey. Pull a lever, press a button, that's where this is coming from.
Cool. So, awkward silence. And shall we go on to,
Cue to read more.
yeah. Do you guys want to pick up extraordinary claims? Because I really want to know everyone's thoughts on aliens, ghosts, etc., etc.
Nice.
For it.
Where is that?
That's
It's
chapter 2. What page is it for you? For me, it's 22.
Sukaran, my man.
Incidental rhymes. It's page number 24. 24.
Very nice.
Yep. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Saptarsh just commented, you're not a snowflake, you're a
Don't
goldflake.
read that. No. Don't encourage this behavior.
Anyway, so Dheer has commented, approaching the speed of light, a person inside a spaceship would age much slower than his twin at home. Also, under Einstein's theory of general relativity, gravity can bend time. I barely made it through physics in class 12th. Just saying. Nobody needs to know, I know. Just saying.
That's not because you are bad at physics, because our system is really bad at explaining you what physics is about.
Yeah.
I
I feel
failed
so
at
good.
physics, I guess, somewhere like in my school for sure. I mean, I had no clue what physics is all about until I got into this. Yeah, the world of Mr. Tyson, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
a video where I don't know. Do we recommend other videos on this?
Yeah,
Do
sure.
we? We do.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there's this
sure.
amazing video that you should see, which talks about the double slit experiment, which is the whole idea that light behaves both as a wave and as a particle, right? And therefore, if you were to, and how it explains this very well. I'm going to completely botch it up while doing it right now, but
Yeah.
it says, let's say that vertical arrangement, okay? You have sand dropping down, and there's a little board that has two cuts on it, okay? Sand is coming down, so what will happen? There'll be two mounds that will get created, duh, because some sand will go in from one slit, the other will go from the other slit, and therefore you'll have two. And that say that if light was to behave like as a particle, not as a wave, it would create two spots if you were to shine light through two slits. It says, but if it was a wave, then it wouldn't create this, because it should then create an interference pattern. Now, what's really messed up is the fact that if you have one slit, it creates as if there's no interference pattern, there's nothing. Light falls in one place and one bright spot comes up. When you create two, they're like somehow light now knows that there's another slit, and therefore it starts behaving differently. So they're like, how can we check? Does when a photon comes, does it go in the upper one or the lower one? So when you put a sensor there, light starts behaving differently. It starts behaving like a particle. When you don't have a sensor there, it behaves like a wave. So somehow the act of observing the actual decision that, let's say, a photon takes changes the way it behaves. And you watch that video, of course, like I said, I botched it up completely, but when you watch that video, it ends with this guy saying that, if you think you can explain this with common sense, please let me know, because there's a Nobel Prize waiting for you. That's the beauty of true theoretical physics, that there is so much that you get to observe in real life that makes absolute no sense by what we call common sense. And all that is there, that's the true essential nature of our universe.
I
This,
lost you.
no one has seen this. Yeah, as if the photons are conscious. Exactly. So they behave as if, oh wow, you're observing me, so I'm gonna now behave differently. That's what they do. Oh boy.
Vaani, why that face?
Man, he's like,
I'm
मैंने
just
मैंने 10th में भी मुझे अभी भी कुछ समझ नहीं आया, मुझे 10वीं में भी कुछ समझ नहीं आया था.
I'm just like, okay, guys. But yeah, it was interesting.
So Dhruv, by the
So
way, Vaani has very loudly proclaimed a bunch of times that I ruined her life.
no, I mean, yeah, but no,
See
no,
that
no,
she's told random people that, oh yeah,
no. I
this.
haven't told random people.
Okay, fine. You
Wait,
told.
why are we discussing it on live stream?
It's fun. I want to know more about it.
Yeah.
How has Sukaran
I'll start the story and then Sukaran can take it from there. I was in class
I
5
have
and
nothing to take
Sukaran
over. Was in class 10th.
I was in class 4th and Sukaran was in class 10th, or was it 5? I don't know.
5 or 10 is a big jump, okay?
No, I was in class
I
5.
could have had
Sukaran
no
is
impact
10th.
on her life, basically.
But he was the head boy, and I really was like, you head boy, like whatever. So and then he was the district topper. He scored a 94 point something. What was it? 94.3. I keep recording. I'm sorry. And I scored a 93.8 when I got in 10th because I was like, is bande? This guy scored a 94 and he got 100 in Java, and I was like, I can do better. And then I got 99 in Java, okay, in my 10th, and I scored like 93 point. And I'm like, how? Why? Like, I'm way better than that person. And I don't know, I just figured and then I just went.
And on this note, now we can come to extraordinary claims. So that's why I wanted you to talk about this. So we can call it an extraordinary claim.
Competition. Always.
So I found this random person in a crowd of, I don't know, some kids, and I was like, I need to do better than him, which I clearly did not. But I got sidetracked doing better things, being a better head girl, or what is it? Being a better school cabinet member than you were.
Cabinet?
It didn't.
Cabinet? What?
We did have school cabinets, dude, which didn't really matter because you did nothing except monitor. Sorry?
Do you guys get how weird this is in the scheme of things that we are having this discussion in? Like we're
It
talking
is
about the
in-
universe.
Just become
You're
very
talking about
competitive.
We are
I'm
talking about the
sorry.
universe and extraordinary claims. Where Vaani's extraordinary
95 and
claim that I ruined her
94.8
life.
is what we are discussing, guys. All of it is immaterial, guys. You are just a
I
particle
just get
of
very
that
competitive. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So I'm gonna. You remember that quote? It's so weird when you read about an atom. All right, it's bunch of atoms reading about atoms. That's that's where we are. So Vaani,
No,
please
Fine.
start with
Sorry.
alien.
Good going, Vaani.
I'm going to read, okay?
Extraordinary.
Aliens, okay? Alien.
So then I'm going to mute you. Extraordinary claims. Okay. Does anyone want to read, or shall I proceed?
Go for it.
Curious about UFOs, cryptozoology, astrology, extrasensory perception? It's all here. The Carl Sagan dictum, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, remains a potent guide when investigating the natural world for its underlying order. But it comes with a recurring risk. Knowing enough about a subject to think you're right, but not enough about the subject to know you are wrong. E.T. Phone Home, that's the title of this letter. Saturday, March 8, 2009, Neil. If the ETs are out there, why don't we send someone to the moon and Mars and get their input on who they are and why they're coming to Earth? Dear Mel, this is what Neil writes. Until someone drags an alien carcass into a public lab or ET lands on the White House lawn or on the roof of the New York Times building, one cannot justify the $1 trillion expense of traveling to Mars to greet them because the weight of the evidence is commensurate. I don't know. It's like half there, half ticket. I just
Your ICSE English is rolling in its grave.
It's like combining two weird terms into making some very fancy word.
Incommensurate.
Menstruate.
Mensurate.
I
Totally.
I give up.
I was talking to someone today who said, "Do you what do you believe in aliens?" I was like, "What is there to believe? Of course they're there." Like, what? Wait, you don't believe in aliens, Vani?
I don't. What? Just
Honey,
stop.
what's your take on it? The nation wants to know.
Nobody wants to know, guys. I just don't know. I mean, of course, I think there are aliens.
No, what's
I
your
wish
logic
Tayyab
behind
was here
it?
on the
Understand
stream.
what's your
I miss
logic
Tayyab.
behind-
Huh?
I want to understand what's your logic behind saying that there may be aliens out there. Is it like just a guess ke हाँ हाँ होंगे ही मतलब या क्या?
I don't know, dude. I don't. I never followed it, but then, yes, why not? Of course.
Sukaran?
Don't put me on the spot, guys.
I don't know. I fully agree that there fully believe in the fact that there are aliens. If and I'm going to build upon what you only talked about, the whole idea of a snowflake. If we like to believe that in this incredibly gigantic and ginormous universe, this chance of ingredients falling into place together happened only once, please let's not kid ourselves. There's no way, shape, or form that's happened. I don't think aliens are out there to come and abduct us. That I don't think. I mean, I'm sure they have better
Yeah.
things to do. Also, yeah, and like that's one of the theories, right? And one of Fermi's paradox that by the time it would take for an alien civilization to reach us means that where they would be in their stage of development, they really wouldn't care about such a primitive
True.
life form as us. So nobody's coming down to attack us. That's not happening.
There's a short story on Fermi's Paradox as well, which I do not remember, but it's very interesting. No, I don't remember the name. I'm sorry.
But ये interesting कितना है ना यार fact. I can't just seem to get over it कि मतलब I know for sure like everything from what I know that there is an alien life out there.
What
And
do you know? What all do you know?
that we are a carbon-based life form, right? So carbon is the most abundant element in the entire universe, and we have evolved, like our DNA has evolved from a carbon-based element, so to say.
Yeah.
So we know that for sure there are other habitable planets or other habitable systems, right? So which have the similar distance from sun so as to promote like the environment to create an atmosphere and life. Definitely the genetic mutations and all of that would result in a person or a being which would be completely different to who we are like. But then the fact that we have already identified over 1,000 exoplanets, like exoplanets being the ones which are capable of having earth-like environment, Mars being one. Okay, Mars doesn't have an atmosphere, but then there are other systems in the galaxy wherein you have planets which have earth-like atmospheres. So there is like what is there to stop life forming over there?
Our,
That's
our, our audience, by the way, believes vehemently that Vani is an alien, with
hey, nice.
multiple people having proposed that so far.
Yeah.
That your Vani is an alien in disguise.
You never know that. See.
Yes, of course, because that's what an alien would do. Hair flip at a mention.
But there was this short story that I read about the Fermi Paradox, and I do not know. I don't remember the plot as well, but it's very interesting.
In this book itself.
No, not in this book. I remember looking up the Fermi Paradox after I, yeah, after reading that short story.
I need to read. I need to read something out. I'm really sorry. I'm totally
A comment?
hijacking. No, not a comment. This tiny short piece, which just when you talked about this now, what you just said, and it came to me.
Yeah. Sure.
It was published. It was published by MIT. MIT published this thing in 1991 and this guy called Terry Bison wrote it. It's a radio play. Okay, so and the radio play goes like this. Actually, should I send one of you the link and maybe you can read the lines because it's a dialogue, so we can just like act it out. How do I do this?
Cool.
Who's doing this with me?
From Sukaran. Okay. It's kind of short. Do you want? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so can you act, Vani? Can you act like you're a confused alien? It's a conversation between two aliens. You just have to play yourself. Don't.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, let's go for it. Okay.
Yes.
They're made of meat.
Meat.
Meat. They're made out of meat.
Meat.
There's no doubt about it. We picked several from different parts of the planet, took them aboard our recon vessels, probed them all the way through. They're completely meat.
That's impossible. What about the radio signals and the message to the stars?
They use the radio waves to talk, but the signals don't come from them. The signals come from machines.
So who made the machines? That's who we want to contact.
They made the machines. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Meat made the machines.
That's ridiculous. How can meat make a machine? You're asking me to believe in sentient meat.
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. These creatures are the only sentient race in the sector, and they're made of meat.
Maybe they're like the Orphalai, a carbon-based intelligence that goes through a meat stage.
Nope, they're born meat, they die meat. We studied them for several of their lifespans, which didn't take too long. Do you have any idea of the lifespan of meat?
Sperm, okay. I mean, maybe they're only part meat, like the Verilai. A meat head with an electron plasma brain inside.
Nope, we thought of that since they do have meat heads like the Wedlai, but I told you, we probed them. They're meat all the way through.
No brain.
Oh, there is a brain, all right. It's just that the brain is made of meat.
So what does the thinking?
You're not understanding, are you? The brain does the thinking, the meat.
Thinking meat. You're asking me to believe in thinking meat.
Yes, thinking meat, conscious meat, loving meat, dreaming meat. The meat is the whole deal. Are you getting the picture?
No. Oh my God, you're serious then. They're made out of meat.
Finally, yes, they're indeed made out of meat. And they've been trying to get in touch with us for almost 100 of their years.
So what does the meat have in mind?
First, it wants to talk to us. Then I imagine it wants to explore the universe, contact other sentients, swap ideas and information. The usual.
We are supposed to talk to meat.
That's the idea. That's the message they're sending out by radio. Hello, anyone out there? Anyone home? That sort of thing.
They actually do talk then. They use words, ideas, concepts.
Oh, yes. Except they do it with meat.
I thought you just told me they use radio.
They do, but what do you think is on radio? Meat sounds. You know how when you slap or flap meat, it makes a noise? They talk by flapping their meat at each other. They can even sing by squirting air through their meat.
Oh my God, singing meat. This is altogether too much. So what do you advise?
Officially or unofficially?
Both.
Officially, we are required to contact, welcome, and log in any and all sentient races or multi-beings in the quadrant without prejudice, fear, or favor. Unofficially, I advise that we erase the records and forget the whole thing.
I was hoping you would say that, yeah.
It seems harsh, but there's a limit. Do we really want to make contact with meat?
I agree 100% what's there to say. Hello, mate. How's it going? But will this work? How many planets are we dealing with here?
Just one. They can travel to other planets in special meat containers, but they can't live on them. And being meat, they only travel through sea space, which limits them to the speed of light and makes the possibility of their ever making contact pretty slim. Infinitesimal, in fact.
So we just pretend there's no one home in the universe.
That's it.
Cruel, but you said it yourself. Who wants to meet meat? And the ones who have been aboard our vessels, the ones you have probed, you're sure they won't remember.
They'll be considered crackpots if they do. We went into their heads and smoothed out their meat, so we're just a dream to them.
A dream to meet. How strangely appropriate that we should be meat's dream.
And we can mark this sector unoccupied.
Good. Agreed. Officially and unofficially, case closed. But any others? Anyone interesting on that side of the galaxy?
Yes, a rather shy but sweet hydrogen core cluster intelligence in a class 9 star in the G445 zone. Was in contact to galactic rotation ago, wants to be friendly again.
They always come around.
And why not? Imagine how unbearably, how unutterably cold the universe would be if one were all alone.
Wow. Cool. Take it.
When I read it for the first time, it messed me up so hard. Because imagine if, replace the word meat with like rock, stone, wood or something, And this could be a conversation you and I were having. That there's a there's a creature made of rock that's trying to talk to us, and we just like, what? That's ridiculous. What if there is somebody who thinks like that about us and has decided not to contact us? What is this?
Okay.
Amazing.
Someone commented, can we just talk about Jadoo and Dhoop?
Yes.
Dude, I don't know if we had a vice principal. No, I don't know. What if he watches this? No.
Good.
Sure. Sukaran is
Satoshi's
putting his...
brain is sorry. I was saying Satoshi's brain is not made of meat. Sad biology noises. Biology noises. Yes. He's slapping his meat against his meat and making noises.
People are losing their shit, guys. They're like, "Ho kya raha hai? Chal kya raha hai?"
I know. I was confused for the first second because Sukaran was like into it, and I was like,
Yeah, I saw your face. I'm reading it for, I don't know, the 10th time. I'm going to share the link to this. Is that okay? I'm going to share the link so everybody can read it whenever they want
sure.
to.
Someone commented Sukaran is putting his ICSE training to good use. Proud, the theatrics.
Oh, thanks. From one
That's
ICSE
Aditi.
to another. Yay.
Okay. It is really 2 minutes silence for arts and commerce students. I did not get the joke there.
Wait, what? You're an art
Is
student?
that a white hair? No. That's all. Sorry. I'm...
This is what was spoken of earlier. Cosmos से cosmetics बहुत जल्दी चले जाते हैं ये लोग.
Okay, cool. I can see this look on Dhruv's face, and I feel like he's just like, why am I spending my Thursday night doing this?
Devita is going to see brain meat bags in her dream, and OKSD is like, BC, क्या चल रहा है? What are you guys talking about? What is this?
Okay.
Oh boy.
I'm just going to scroll through some. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pranshul says, Dhruv, it's okay not to be an alien.
So she's crying in state board now. Sambhav is saying, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, basically, people were like, what the... I hope that was a good word, because that's what was supposed to be the purpose of the short story. Should we jump back to our UFO sightings?
Okay, cool. No, but there's another comment I'm trying to find. Okay. There are like 3 comments that are divided. I'm trying to fix them together. It's by Maharshi. The wow signal was a strong narrowband radio signal received on August 15, 1977 by Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope in the United States. Then used to support the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The signal appeared to come from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius and bore the expected hallmarks of extraterrestrial origin. Cool. Dude, I missed Taya.
What the meat? That's going to be my new line. WTM. Nikhil's like, it's like I'm watching Big Bang Theory. I hope he again means it in a good way.
Hey, Aditi is like, Saptarshi, let's do better on our stream. Is it like books, podcasts versus anime? Anime.
It's bound to happen one of these days.
You guys did a podcast, right? You, Aditi, and you 3 of like on a book.
Yeah, there was one more, Bharvi, I think. Bharvi, Aditi. We streamed together on, I don't remember
by the
what
way,
it was.
there's an open announcement of battle here because Aditi has just written, let's do better on our stream.
That's why I'm
not happening.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Cool.
None.
Did you read that comment? I'm not even going to read that out loud.
Yes. Wait, how do you
Cool.
report a comment? Oh god. Okay. Do you want to talk about UFO sightings?
Keshav, that's Aditi from British Films channel. British Films recommendation on the same channel. Sorry. Yeah, please. Do you want to, what?
I was saying, do we read about UFO sightings from the book?
Yes. I don't think there were any sightings as such. There was just...
Yeah, but this book was released before the US Navy released those 2 videos of UFOs, remember?
Oh, yes.
This has been such a funny year that ways. We got 2 videos of UFOs All right, and that was like that didn't even make the headline this year because it's 2020. They were yeah, let's just. They had been sitting on this video for 5 years. They're like, इस साल release करो, कोई नहीं देखेगा. Everybody's caught up. And then they found
Yeah.
that metal obelisk in the middle of the Utah desert. Did you see that? It's a 12-foot tall metal triangular thing in the middle of a desert where there's nothing else. And they're like, we don't know how this came here. We don't know who put it here. I don't know how this happened.
I think I've heard of that.
Oh God,
Yeah,
2020.
What?
for real, for real. ये कौन
Yeah,
सी?
yeah, yeah.
I haven't. Okay.
There's also this thing about okay, let's you know what, guys, let's do there are these myths about the जो हमारे what are those called? Uh, the heritage sites like the Stonehenge, the pyramids, etc., etc. Does anyone know something? Pranshu is requesting you to say something, Dhruv. Why don't you pick up? What are we going to talk about?
That's so, dude. Come on, Pranshu, you can do better than this. इतना abstract मत हो, bro.
Do you know him?
No, I don't know.
Sumit asking if the moon landing is fake. There's actually a very interesting bunch of
Yes.
documentaries about how it would have been. We did not have the technology to be able to fake the moon landing, but we had the technology to actually do a moon landing because video technology wasn't as advanced. So, yeah, we couldn't have faked those videos. But yeah, so I don't think it's fake. But this was a trope in Interstellar, right? Interstellar, where they say that it was just propaganda to get the Soviets to bankrupt themselves, trying to chase the idea of going to the moon.
There is this really interesting TV series on Apple TV. मैंने देखी नहीं ज़्यादा, but premise काफी सही है उसका. So basically उसमें क्या बताते हैं? Cold War के अंदर ये रशिया और यूएस का space race चालू हुआ था, and it never ended. Yeah, so it never ended, and they kept on discovering, and they kept on going forward. So they pushed ahead. मतलब moon पे land होने के बाद तो they were like pack up हो गया ना, मतलब party खत्म हो. So in that series, it's showing an alternate universe in which the Cold War never ended, and the Russian basically beat the US to the moon landing, or the US, because it's ultimately a big competition. So they ended up, going ahead and ahead, and then it's a very interesting premise.
There's a horror film also, I think, called Apollo 13 or something
Yeah.
like that, about the mission that never happened, is what they call it, but it's shot in the found footage format, the same one from all your Blair Witch Project types. And the idea is that these people, they land on the moon, these astronauts, and when they are out exploring, they find a Russian spaceship, all right, but there are no cosmonauts. They're all gone or they're dead or something. So they're like, what? And that's when they realize that the moon is populated by aliens, and those aliens are these tiny rocks that have legs. Okay, so like there's a rock and it suddenly sprouts out legs and then crawls up and kills you or something like that. So the whole story is that that's why they stopped the moon missions after the 13th or whatever mission, because they found like they all died basically. That's the idea.
I just had a weird thought. It would be such a terrible story if ghosts also had sectors. Do they have sectors? I mean, I don't know if like there's a thing, na, right? Even like I don't know, in horror films, like ghosts have sectors. I don't know, like they have their own jurisdiction. This is what Miss Meenakshi Chaudhary told us in Ghost Stories of Shimla Hills.
What?
I'm sorry.
Okay. So UFO sightings.
Read Ghost Stories of Shimla Hills.
It.
There's this thing. I don't know what story it was, but there was like ghosts have sectors, so you can't go beyond something. Like, have you read Ghost Stories of Shimla Hills? Either of you?
No.
Shame on you,
Please
Sukaran. You're
read
from
it right now if you have it.
I don't own books.
What do
like
you mean
that.
to say? Like they have their own dedicated areas out of which they
So
cannot operate?
there is this author Meenakshi Chaudhary, and she's written a few books in the series Ghost Stories of Shimla Hills, and they are stories from Shimla, where we went to college, right? And वहाँ पे she's gone door to door, like remote locations पे, met people who've experienced things, and that's what she's written there. So there was this one particular story where it was something like, like this ghost wouldn't come out of this place. Like this is the jurisdiction it works in. It's like, oh, cool.
like again, I'm gonna go ahead and say that you Himachalis, okay, yeah, you just hear me out.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
do you have such a proclivity towards all of these ghosts and these ghost stories? और बड़े मजे ले लेके भी सुनाते हो ना. Like I remember when I was in college also, this used to be like a thing, okay? It used to be a thing कि आओ बैठो चक्कर में मतलब circle में बैठेंगे और ghost story सुनाएंगे. ठीक है, like there is something to it. Like it has.
Average Saturday.
Yeah. It doesn't happen anywhere else.
What?
No, it does
That's
happen.
not.
Not to the extent it does in Himachal. It's, in my opinion, like I haven't seen it happen as much anywhere else.
So I don't know, Sukaran, if you've attended any parties as such, but like when I was growing up,
Wow, thanks. How antisocial do you think I am? It was such a sweeping statement. I don't think
I
you've
was
ever attended
I mean
parties or something,
PWD
but
parties. I meant
sorry.
PWD parties. PWD parties,
Ah,
the ones that used to happen
uh-huh.
in like jab bhi ghar pe. So we used to have these monthly parties in the entire. So my father works for PWD, and we
Yeah.
used to have these monthly parties, and all the families used to come together. There was a separate room for kids,
Hmm.
and the kids would find the farthest room in the house, turn off the lights, and tell ghost
Oh,
stories.
ghosts. Yeah, yeah. We even
I
did those
used
things.
to,
No?
I
You would
used to
put a
just.
coin and then put your
That's
fingers
why
and
I
then
think
call a spirit.
that's how I got scarred. I hate partying now. But yeah,
No, but I think there's something about the hills for sure. Yeah, there's a higher propensity for experiencing the supernatural. But um, there is this whole thing. No, again, I was watching some documentary once about how certain things, when like a fan, okay, an
yeah,
exhaust fan spinning in a specific way, can create resonance that makes you believe, like the whole idea that, oh, there's someone else in the room with me, that sixth sense tingling of yours, that is coming because there are, of course, senses inside of you, and they're being manipulated by stupid things
yeah.
around you. I think we just have a lot higher propensity for that in the hills. Pahad, patte, hawa, pani.
So, what are your favorite horror stories, guys?
Mine? Are you asking
Yeah,
me?
both of you. Y-
Dhruv? All I
Dhruv,
remember
why
are
don't
horror
you go
stories
ahead?
from North
Because
Campus.
So you remember, okay, I have one. I don't have many, but I have one. So in JUIT, so we used to go out and camp. Okay, we used to go
yeah,
out and do bonfire on this hill, which is like this after like this college's boundary और रात को classes
yeah,
वगैरह खत्म होने के बाद we used to just take out over there. And वहाँ पे ऐसा था कि कोई एक शिव मंदिर था, and then people were like, oh, this is like the शिव मंदिर और इसके आगे जाओगे तो भूत प्रेत होते हैं और काफी मतलब डरा रखा था next level पे. And it was the Himachali people in our gang who were the most up for like stories. मतलब आ रही हैं बता रहे हैं कि मतलब खत्म हो. And then we used to get really psyched because we were there and like we were like all chilling and listening to Pink Floyd and all of this. वापस आ रहे, आग बुझाई और भाग रहे ना, ठीक है. सब चार लोग, मैं, अमन, पीछे वैभव, and then like this line of people and we are running.
He just said Weber, and वहां Weber का मैसेज है, भाई कॉलेज के सीक्रेट्स मत बता. फिर उसने कहा, "हाँ,
no,
बता
Dhruv,
everybody."
you'll have to complete this one.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we used to run. We used to run so that we are at that Shiv Mandir ताकि उससे पीछे अपना कुछ ना बचे. And मतलब I used to not be that scared, okay, but then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it's
Tiny.
only in Himachal. That's the story.
It is. It is. Also, by the way, we should give a shout out to Saikat. Saikat, I hope I said
Right.
your name right.
Yeah,
Because I
psycho.
can't read his name because he's written it in
In
a different script.
Bengali, I think.
Bengali,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm not certain,
So we have
but
to
yeah.
translate it. But Vani, are you going to tell everybody about the time where you saw a ghost?
I never saw. Oh wait, I see it on every Thursday live stream. Yeah, okay, right
I
here.
knew it, ass. Yeah, how do you know I'm not? No.
What?
Mm-mm. Sure.
My neck turns and then starts moving in the other direction. I remember, I don't know what crappy film this was from, but it had Cyrus Brocha and Vivek Oberoi in this short that had Vivek Oberoi driving a car and no, it's not Cyrus Brocha, Nana Patekar. And Nana Patekar asks him for a lift, all right, in the movie, and he gets in the car. It's like a dark, dingy road, and like all that stuff is happening. And he says, "Aren't you scared of picking up people? I've heard they're like, ghosts and all here and shit." And Nana Patekar keeps saying such crap to Vivek. Vivek is driving. And finally, Vivek gets damn angry. He says, "Yeah, you can't just talk like that. What the hell? Let's stop the car. Get out of my car," something. Okay. And then Nana Patekar laughs and says, "Arey, you're on Bakra, MTV Bakra." And he's like, "What? MTV Bakra? But there is no Cyrus Brocha here." Like, Cyrus, everybody knows Cyrus. He can't fool anybody anymore. That's why, yeah, la la la. So he says this stuff that I'm not. So Nana Patekar is lying that I'm a ghost. That's the whole plot. Turns out he's not a ghost. He's just making his bakra. And then he asks Vivek that, how did you not get scared? You got angry. You didn't get scared. And then Vivek's neck turns and he says, because I'm the ghost. And then Nana Patekar is all like white and alone. So yeah. Yeah, Darna Mana Hai. It was such a horrible film. Like that's the only shot I remember from it. Crappy film.
So Saptarshi has corrected us, not corrected us, but Saptarshi has told us Saikat's name is written in Bengali. It translates to unintentional mistake.
Ooh. Because
Oh,
the last
God.
bit is like bhool. Am I reading that right? Is that because that looks like bhool?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But Indian horror,
Everybody gangster until रात के 3 बजे पानी पीने उठना पड़ता है. मैं बताता हूँ मेरे साथ क्या हुआ है. मैं बताऊंगा ये. I was at Micah when Conjuring came out. All right, and Conjuring में the ghost comes out at what 3:17 something. I don't remember what's the exact time.
I haven't seen.
You haven't seen Conjuring? Dhruv, please tell me you've seen Conjuring.
but then what time? Like, I'm not able
Remember the ghost comes out
Wow.
at some particular time every night, and they wake up every morning. The clocks are stopped at 3:17 or something. Okay, so at in this, I was on campus, and everybody else had seen Conjuring except me, and I was like, "Arey yaar, mere reh gaya. I have to watch it." And then one night at around 2 o'clock, I sit down to watch the film. And so I'm alone in my room, lights out, with headphones on, watching it on my laptop. Right, my friends know that I'm doing this, and I suddenly hear something. And I was on the first floor, and I hear a tash kiwas. So I take off my headphones, and I like it sounds like a rock has been thrown on my window. So I go out and I look outside, and I see nobody. From the window, I can see anybody. So I go, that's my window. I go back to the main door. I open my hostel room's door, and the entire hostel is empty. It's the eeriest I've ever seen something like that. Like, there is not a single person there. And I was like, huh? So I come back and I check my phone. It's 3:17. So I'm like really panicked, okay? Because I'm watching Conjuring and this happens at 3:17. But I'm dead certain that it's my friends who've done this, right? They knew that I'm watching Conjuring, so they must have come and thrown a rock and then hidden or whatever. So I send them a text message saying, good one, guys. Nobody replies. I continue watching the film. I finish the film. Around 3:40, I finish the film. I go to our cafeteria area, and my friends are sitting there, right? And I'm like, and they're like, how did you like it? I'm like, oh, it was damn nice, very scary, ha. And then they're like, what was that message you sent us? Good one. And I was like, I know what you did. Like, you came to my room and you threw a rock at 3:17. And they're like, we didn't do that. And I'm like, I know you're just messing with me right now. I say, you didn't do it. Of course you did it. Like, how else can that make sense? They're like, dude, तू attention लेने की कोशिश कर रहा है क्या? हमने नहीं किया है. And I was like, नहीं, तुमने किया है. They're like, नहीं, हमने नहीं किया है. They're like, whatever. So I go from there. I go to the guy who sits at the cafeteria. And I'm like, ये लोग कितनी देर से यहाँ बैठे हैं? बोला, ये 2-3 घंटे से तो यहीं बैठे हुए हैं. And I was like, dude. And they still stand by and say that we never did anything. We never threw something. So, Conjuring की भूत को पता चल गया था कि मैं pirated movie देख रहा हूँ. तो 3:17 पे पत्थर मारने आ गई. Oh God.
This is how you guys do it, na? Like, again, Himachalis, come on. This is the like, ऐसी storytelling करते हो ना, तो क्या मतलब लग रहा है मेरे पीठ के पीछे कोई है, ठीक है? I'm like in this room and
Oh no, but you know what? Like, so when I studied in Kulu until 10th class, and then my father got transferred to Mandi, so I moved there. And now my ghar was at a very strategic location. Okay, like to our left, it was a graveyard, and to our right, it was a shamshan ghat. And just like thode,
Just Himachali things.
and just like हमारी same room में थोड़ा आगे चल के like जो royal family है सुंदरनगर की उनका कुत्ता was buried. So, which isn't funny, but yeah. And then on one of the initial nights, so my brother and I just share the same room, right? At least at that time we used to. And रात को आवाज आती है. So I was like really tired of him. Like we had our fight, and I was like, fuck, you sleep in that corner, I'll sleep in this corner. And रात को आवाज आती है कि there are footsteps coming to our room. And then a trigger, like gun ka trigger ki आवाज आई. And then those steps go back to the kitchen. And then no steps come back. Because my parents' room was in the opposite direction. And I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck happened? And then I quietly turn around and I'm like, hey, Divyam, I'm really sorry. And then I slept peacefully. That's it. That's just, I don't know.
Subhashi's offended. I didn't tell them I read something. Sorry, guys. And RKC, yes, graveyard is Shamshan Ghat.
Oh, so then what is the other one?
What's the other one?
Where we burn the bodies, Hindus burn the bodies.
Shamshan Ghat.
Then what's a graveyard? Like
Shamshan Ghat.
Kabristan, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
I am so sorry, guys. Kabristan.
So,
Oh, by the way, Keshav had paid us a super chat so that I learn to recognize all the scripts, at least the ones written on back of the show. Why don't we quiz, like in the next live, maybe we can quiz me on that. And if I don't miss the point, we can get another super chat. Why not?
Should we do this right now?
No, dude, I'll just prepare myself now. But I was right, dude. That was Bengali. I was just not certain. But okay, cool.
Ki khobor.
Yeah. Cool. So that happened once.
Great. I love how this stream is no longer talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson and is talking about Bhoot. Pret.
Fine with it.
Pret ki kahaniyan. Hey, do you believe in ghosts, by the way? I do not, but like, yeah. But like things happen and you don't have like any reasoning for them. Yeah, this one I did not. Others I believe were static electricity.
Hari Krishnan has just recommended, by the way, one of my favorite horror films.
Yeah.
The Spanish film called Rec.
Okay.
It is really bad. Also found footage types, but so scary. So scary.
I have not seen any horror films.
You feel like you're there. Like it's even if it's not that gory, you feel like it's happening to you, or like it might happen. But Bhool Bhulaiya, this guy Mahesh Patil, Bhool Bhulaiya, I really love. Like this movie scared me. Like I'm not even.
Yes, and because it feels real.
I'm in my head for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh God. We should read Goosebumps.
Bhool Bhulaiya was a psychological thriller, right? It wasn't a.
It was horror per se, but then it scared me. Okay, that's.
Yeah, look, I haven't seen any horror film, dude. I have zero experience. Zero experience. I haven't seen one horror film.
What?
Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't.
You should see
even talking about it gives me goosebumps. That was such a mind-boggling film.
Dhruv, you know what? If Dhruv starts talking and someone else starts talking, Dhruv gets cut off, and I'm really sorry about it.
Sorry, Dhruv.
I don't know why that.
The ropes, guys. Come on, it's okay.
Yes, I saw that. You saw that? I saw that. Yes. Yeah, I saw that. But you weren't even talking that time.
Huh? What are we?
Dhruv, go for it. Dhruv's like, मैं बोलूंगा ही. So much for warm and welcoming.
What were we talking about?
Goosebumps.
Yeah, we used to have them stacked in the library. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I'll put the spotlight on you, Dhruv.
No. Goosebumps? What? I'm having goosebumps right now. Come on, guys. Take me out of spotlight. What am I supposed to talk about? Do anyone know what is this?
Satya Vinchu the doll.
What's
This
happening?
is the
Guys?
origin story of Annabelle.
Tatya Vinchunu.
I'm just saying stuff.
Dude, like,
Back to the book.
do you want to read Goosebumps though, Dhruv?
Sure.
Oh my God, I would like to read Goosebumps.
You know what Goosebumps are, right? Right?
No.
Not right now,
Tell
guys.
me.
I'm not prepared. Do you guys want to read now?
Yeah.
This is
Because we have a couple of Nice. Thanks, Sukaran. So we have a couple of loose hanging threads here. So एक तो कोई मिल गया किसी ने पूछा था वो जादू वाली चीज थी अपने पास.
Yeah.
What is your recollection of watching कोई मिल गया and this jadoo and this dhoop? Any story to tell?
Pahad are the USA of horror films, basically. You know how in Hollywood सारे भूत, सारे UFO, सारा कुछ न्यूयॉर्क में ही आता है. वैसे हमारे यहाँ पे सब कुछ कसौली में ही आता है.
बड़ी सी हवेली में.
हाँ, बड़ी सी हवेली में.
I think I know now why we have awkward silences, because we wait for Dhruv to speak, and as soon as we do, he speaks. And then we cut him off, and then we are
Yeah.
apologetic about the same.
Horrible. This is all you're
Waiting.
doing. Vaani. I blame
No, it's
you.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You guys have a really good chemistry in that sense. So मेरे को अभी वाइफ पकड़ने में थोड़ा टाइम लग रहा है.
Wife पकड़ने में? Oh,
Wife.
that's nice.
Vibe.
Guys, Dhruv is this show is now Dhruv ka.
No comments. No comments, guys.
This is Dhruv ka wo
Dhruv ka
swayamvar.
swayamvar.
स्वयंवर करा.
Hmm.
Interesting. Would you actually marry if it happens, though, Dhruv ka swayamvar? Because they just like, and then they run away. Shit. I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed. What has become of us?
Yeah, horrible, horrible.
Dhruv, do you have earphones? Maybe you should try uske saath and then maybe.
Yes, let's do a tech check 1 hour into our live stream. Yes, I fully agree. Extremely professional of us. So on page number 57 of the book, you know, there's a
Okay,
there's
good.
there's this one 57 on Dhruv's PDF, not on ours.
Tell me the name. No, what is it?
Is the name? It's called
No,
An Appeal.
no.
It's an
Found
appeal.
it.
You found it? Chapter number 4, hate mail.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
hate mail sounds interesting.
Yes, I'm going to read this out because it's a third grader. So my mental age and yes, what do you want me to do?
Pius just paid us a super chat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Pius.
Cool.
Thanks.
Cool. Yes.
Okay.
Do you get a
I'm
lot of
gonna read
hate mail? I'm just interested.
Me?
I send you a lot of hate messages. That's something else.
Yeah. Oh, beyond that,
No.
are you asking me if I get hate mail?
Yeah.
Yes.
I expected of you. What about you, Dhruv?
No, I don't get hate mails.
Cool. Let's start then.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna read out the 3-year-old, and maybe Dhruv can read out what NDT would say back. Dear scientist, what do you call Pluto if it's not a planet anymore? If you make it a planet again, all the science books will be right. Do people live on Pluto? If there are people who live there, they won't exist. Why can't Pluto be a planet? If it's small, doesn't mean that it does not have to be a planet anymore. Some people like Pluto. If it doesn't exist, then they don't have a favorite planet. Please write back, but not in cursive because I can't read in cursive. Your friend, Madeline. Go for it.
It's just.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna-
Oh, I'm in such a happy place right now.
I just feel short after reading this message. I don't know why.
Okay.
At the time this letter arrived in my office at the Hayden Planetarium, I was busy fielding hundreds of such letters and did not reply. But had I done so, this is what I would have said. Dear Madeline, if anyone is living on Pluto, I assure you they still exist, even after Pluto's demotion to dwarf planet status. So no need to fear for their lives. Also, if Pluto is anybody's favorite planet, then it can simply become their favorite dwarf planet. No harm there. But in any case, you are right about the textbooks. They will all have to be changed. Bad for book buyers, but good for publishers. They get to sell you the book again. And here is my actual signature in cursive. It says Neil D. Tyson. Gotta start somewhere. Your friend.
That's mean.
Clearly doesn't
That
know
was
how
a
to take
third
criticism.
grader.
Yeah. Horrible.
No, he just gives you a reality check like this. Now, I mean, this is what I have.
But he didn't even reply to the letter, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, it's okay. Cool. I don't like kids. I mean, I like kids. I like kids. I like
Dude,
kids.
I love this stream. Dhruv wants a wife. Vaani wants kids.
I don't want kids. I said I like kids. I just don't want kids.
Yeah, let's go with that.
What's everybody on today?
What?
Nothing. Sorry. Please ignore.
Jatin is asking, guys, which page number is this? Vaani, since you're the only one with the real book, you should tell us, everybody. what
Okay,
page.
I just moved forward. Give me a second there. Sorry. Oops. No, found it. It's 76 in the book.
Adnan's like, Neil deGrasse Tyson's kind of jerk.
Whoa, who is a fan of the Big Bang Theory?
Hey, Big Bang Theory is cool, yaar.
Keshav has just asked you to marry him. Vaani, good job. Aditi has offered to buy me a car.
Hey, I want that offer.
Sorry, you get children.
I like kids. I just don't want them.
Keshav is willing to help out.
I just said I don't want them, guys.
Yeah.
Somehow we were supposed to bully him. It's just like I'm being
bully who?
cornered. This is not nice.
This happens every time.
I'm glad I'm
Yeah.
being. I'm just not being overlapped.
Have you guys seen Mars Attacks? In that Mars Attacks, one of the things that public wants to know is, do aliens have two genders, two sexes, or are there more? And that was when I saw the film, I was just like, yeah. I mean, why should we take it for a given that there'll be like two? They could be more. What?
There could be none.
Or there could be none. Yeah. Oh my god. There's also this one really stupid film. Sorry, Avani. I wish they wrote stupid novels, but there's a stupid film which was also an ad campaign for Head and Shoulders. I don't know if anybody has seen this film. It was about aliens coming, like an asteroid coming, falling down on our planet, and the alien life form inside of it evolves in the matter of minutes what we do in years. So basically, in a week, they turn from a single cell organism to multicellular to having primates and so on. And the last stage of their evolution, right, they turn into an amoeba of the size of a city. They're like, well, it's the survival of the fittest, and clearly eventually we'll all turn into amoebas. Yeah.
Man, where do you get these movies?
Movies, I know, right? There's a reason my friends don't let me pick movies for Saturday night watching. It's horrible.
I'm
Purnendu has
so
given you
glad.
a super chat, by the way.
Oh
Vaani,
wait, yeah, Purnendu has given us a super chat. Loving this conversation. Have any of you watched The Haunting of? Yeah, it's really good.
Guess who hasn't watched it? Vaani.
Dhruv, have you seen this?
Of course. Why would you even ask me? I had a series here, okay, wherein I talked about movies and TV shows.
I'm just.
What's your
Wait.
favorite sci-fi movie though, Vani? Like,
Hmm?
if you have watched movies at all, like if that's the case, which is your favorite sci-fi movie of all time?
I don't think I've seen a lot of sci-fi, but I think the last one that I saw was Moon. Is it Moon? The guy goes to the moon for extracting a fuel, and then there are 13, not 13, but like there's a contract with the company for 3 years or so, and then has anyone seen the movie?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's beautiful.
Great.
That's nice.
Yeah, my brother forced me to. He locked
Oh
me
my
in a room
God.
to watch it.
Listen,
Yeah.
Pius has paid you a super chat for saying his
Yay!
name. Thanks,
Thank you
Pius.
so
I
much,
also said
Pius.
it, but whatever. But he's recommended Shakespeare stream, which was something. Remember, I told you about that. I have this amazing book called Shakespeare on Love. Had
Yeah.
nothing to do with the movie Shakespeare in Love, but where it's a narration of all the ways that he's expressed the complications of love.
Yeah.
So. Okay, are we reading something more?
I don't know. I was trying to find an article on this. I'm very bad with names, and I'm trying to find the book and the writer both in a book. So just give me 1 minute, guys. Please carry
So
on.
while Vani does that, Dhruv, let's you and I read a little.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I have run a few pages ahead and
Hmm.
found something called "To Believe or Not to Believe," chapter number 9, page number 111.
111 on my book as well.
On
No,
not on yours. We don't know what's happening on your page.
it's just mean. Should have downloaded the PDF for myself.
You should have, yes. But I'm talking about God and the afterlife, which is on page 113.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Can you just give me
can
a
I?
second? I'll just
Chapter
catch up.
number 9, God and the afterlife. Dhruv, why don't you read the letter and I'll be NDT, and Vani can find it till then.
I'm uninviting you from all my streams from now on.
No, Saptarshi, protect me.
Found it.
Come on, this is
Yep.
my first live stream. You can't do this. You have limelight.
No, found it. Yes.
Cool. The capacity of the human mind to believe, in the absence of tangible evidence, knows no bounds. Those who wrote to me about their beliefs, in almost all cases, were trying to win me over to their side, but were also authentically curious. As an educator, I had no hesitation engaging them, but I'm also genuinely curious about all the ways a person's mind can be wired. Just weird. Can be wired for thought in a perennial attempt to make sense of the world, the eye of God.
That was the introduction to the chapter, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just enjoying life. God in the afterlife.
Oh, okay, go for it. You want me to do it?
I'm just looking who's there, who's going to pick
Hello,
up.
Dr. Tyson.
God is
That's the
on
email.
the other end. I was just waiting for you to like just.
I saw Dhruv's eyes going like in a triangle.
कौन
Sorry.
बोलेगा कोई
Go on,
बोलेगा
go on.
My
Cool.
question to you is, and I'm sure it will seem like a loaded one, do you believe in a supernatural being such as God and the prospects of an afterlife? If not, then what or how do you explain it, the concept of religion, and why some believe, to your children? As I have pondered this question for some time, I asked myself that if God and an afterlife is not real, then why has this concept become so fundamental to human societies from the beginning of their existence? Your time and answers will be appreciated, but in the end, I will probably still say my prayers because the little investment of faith can't hurt. Just in case he's up there and there is something more after my body has passed away. Before you respond to this, no, there's this amazing book, and I don't remember the name, so but which talks about a guy who finds scientific proof of afterlife and like actual proof, no longer conjecture. And guess what that leads to?
What?
It leads to the world's highest level of suicides ever. Because people are like, yeah, this sucks.
What's the
After
proof?
I don't know what the proof is. Like they don't tell you what the proof is in the book. They just tell you that ever since like the story starts with a guy saving a girl from drowning herself, and
Yeah.
and that story then starts out that this guy's father is the one who had discovered scientific proof that afterlife exists, and people are just like, this shit sucks. I'm gonna kill myself.
Great. I'll
So
read a
yeah,
letter, then I'll have a question for both of you.
sure.
Dear Mr. Baker, I have yet to be convinced by anything I see on Earth or in the universe that anyone or any intelligent entity is in charge. I teach my children about all the world's major religions, not, oh, I don't know how to pronounce this word, pejoratively, but anthropologically, which is, I think, a sensible way to broach comparative religion. In this way, they know that while there are multiple belief systems in the world regarding God and gods, there is only one science, and that science is the same no matter your birthplace on Earth or anywhere else in the cosmos. I do not know whether or not God is real. I simply know that the people who cite evidence in favor of God have overlooked the preponderance of evidence against it. Other widespread and timeless activities of human societies include war and infidelity and power struggles and slavery and exploitation. Just because something endures within and across cultures does not mean it is good or correct or the right thing to do for the future. As for the urge to believe in an afterlife, note that for most of the history of life on earth, you did not exist, a condition that continued right up until your birth. That is not a hard thought to consider, nor is it depressing. You simply had no existence of awareness of anything at all. It should therefore not be hard to consider the likelihood that the state of death is no different. As for saying your prayers just in case, it reminds me of a story that the horseshoe that hung in Niels Bohr's office. This famous physicist was asked why he, a man of science, believed in such superstitious things. He is rumored to have replied, "They tell me it works even if you don't believe in it." Sincerely, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
In Pirates of the Caribbean, this happens. They're both in a boat, the two pirates, and
Yeah.
he's holding the Bible upside down. And like, you don't know how to read. What you do is like, it's the Bible. You get points for trying. We're gonna die, so might as well. So yeah.
Cool, 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 cool. Yeah, I had a question. What about the books that come on afterlife or uh, what is it called? Hypnotherapy, past life regression, future life progression, regression and progression.
Like, what's the question? Is that the question?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on regression and progression? So like people get hypnotized, sent into past life things, and then the facts get verified, etc., etc. So what do you think?
I
I
don't
have
know.
this urge to call out a rule number, but like it's just the two of you. Sorry. Yeah.
I'm not really very familiar with the fact what you're trying to make. I need some context. Okay. So, Sukaran, if
So
you
there's this so sometimes in I don't know, there's this therapy called hypnotherapy, and
yeah.
the doctor will hypnotize you, will send you into a past life, etc., etc. And then there are times when this has been verified,
Hmm.
and then there are also people who speak a completely different language when they are under hypnosis. So what are your thoughts about it?
I
Do
think
you
it's
believe that is possible at all?
I really want to be hypnotized as a matter of fact. I've tried watching those stupid YouTube videos, looking at that rabbit hole, nothing happens. But then I feel like there is some meat to it, like to put it into the words of the MIT guys, there is meat to it. You can be hypnotized. I think at the end of it, if you think of it, our brain is what, like only some percent of it's conscious, most of it is subconscious, and you don't
Yeah.
really know what's going on there, what kind of connections it's making in that subconscious state. And also there's this thing about the alpha waves, gamma waves that your brain sort of emits when you're sleeping. So that alpha wave is the same wave that the universe is also operating at. So
Yeah.
it's all about an interplay of energies. At the end of the day, we are energies interacting with each other. So I feel like, if a person really knows what he's doing, which I highly doubt anyone does, uh,
Yeah.
they may be able to tap into that subconscious and access those reserves, I guess.
What about you, Sukar?
I don't know. I mean, one, there is the worst part of this is, of course, every single person's view is going to be so personal to them. The best
Mm-hmm.
part, not the worst part, because at the end of the day, how do you prove one over the other?
Yeah.
But it does tie in very well with the only spiritual belief that I do have, which is what is called Advait Vedantism, the whole idea that the idea of divinity does not exist outside of you, it exists inside of you. And if it exists
Yeah.
inside of you, and it is basically you in tandem with the rest of the universe, then, like Dhruv was saying, it's the same energy wave kind of running through you, the universe, the divinity, everything is the same thing coming together, which would make sense even if you look at what are the classical or the modern thoughts of science, the whole idea of energy, matter, interchangeability, and
Yeah.
you put all of that together and it starts making sense in that ways. I don't know if any physicist who's actually ever written about this, but if you were to talk about dimensions, and so for us, we live in a 3D world, right? And time is the fourth dimension. So assume that there's a creature who lives on 2 dimensions, okay? And therefore their entire world is a sheet of paper, for example, or a glass pane. So it's a line creature and it exists only in those 2 dimensions. Every single moment of existence for that creature would be a single plane, right? And you could stack all of them up into a cube, and that creature's entire existence could be therefore trapped like that, right? So you as a 3D creature could witness every single moment of their existence at the same time, because you're a 3D being. But that creature is experiencing it at multiple moments, right? Because they exist only in 2 dimensions.
Yeah.
And therefore, you could exist across all time and space and place. So that makes you omnipresent, omniscient, and everything, right? You could see their present and their past and their future, because for you, it does not exist as a flowing continuum. It exists in the same instant. So if there was a creature who existed in 4 dimensions, for whom time was also just a physical dimension, like for us, the third dimension is, they would have all the qualities of how we describe God, you know? And therefore, by that measure, you would say that science quintessentially has described God already.
She's
When
got.
Vaani's getting a phone call. No, Vaani's getting a phone call. This happens. Vaani gets a phone call. Her
No, I'm
camera
here.
disappears.
Hi, Vaani.
Yeah. Welcome back,
Hi
Vaani. Welcome
guys.
to the
Did you
stream.
miss
Very
me?
happy to have you here.
Did you miss me?
Yeah. So
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the fact is that by just expanding your thought and vision beyond 3 dimensions, the minute you go into the 4 dimension, you start explaining what is called divinity. And the string theory says there are 9 dimensions. So
Yeah.
we already have all of that though. So
Yeah.
Mr. Pink has commented fourth dimension में भूतनाथ रहता है.
oh, lovely.
भूतनाथ रहता है.
Of
Nice.
course, we had
Nice.
to. I think Mr. Pink is also from the hills, because that would explain what his why he jumped to Bhoot so quickly. In the words of Dhruv.
Mr. Pink, where are you from? Please let us know.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. I think Pius is mentioning this. It's called Flatland. Flatland has a very similar concept of a creature that lives in 2 dimensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
But I'm
trying
gonna
to
call
find
him
that
Pyasa,
comment.
by the way, because he
This is
did
also
not give me a
pious.
super chat.
Sorry.
No, but he did not give me a super chat for saying his name right, and he just admitted that people called him
My
Pyasa.
God,
So
yes. Just
it's gonna be
Sukaran,
Pyasa
a
now.
little known fact, he's very passive aggressive.
Who? Me? Pyasa?
Yeah, I had
Is
to
Pyasa
deal
is
with
passive
it this
aggressive?
morning. You are passive aggressive.
Oh, wow.
Dhruv is like, why am I stuck here? But yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
one.
just so you know, Vani,
You cut him off again. Why are you so rude?
I did it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. I'm gonna stop talking.
Thank you.
And now Dhruv won't say anything. See, he's like, no, it's okay. Come back. I was just saying that if you keep pushing me away, I just have received an invitation from Aditi and Saptarshi, all right? So
Cool, cool, cool,
just
cool, cool.
saying.
So if you are
No,
passive
no,
aggressive,
no.
Pius has said he's passive aggressive.
Pyasa. I like this guy.
That's
I like
cool. Nice.
Pyasa.
Okay. Mahesh has never seen us, but he's still watching us. Pranshu says, Dhruv, I am with you. Oh, yeah. Pranshu went quiet.
But who's this Pranshu, guys? He's the only one backing me since the beginning of this.
I think he's a fan of your podcast series or maybe TV show series. By the way, my brother really likes your series, the TV show ones. Just saying.
He told me. I mean, why though?
I don't know. Ask him.
Cool.
Sukaran, my brother likes your piano. Oh no, what is it? The keyboard.
Thank you. I would love to play someday.
Oh, Abhinav is here. Abhinav, what the fuck is this?
He just said, what the fuck is this conversation? I just joined.
I just.
Dhruv is wondering that for a while now.
We've been wondering the same. Sheldon plays Flatland game in TBBT. TBBT? TBBT.
Throw back
TBBT.
Thursday. Throw double back.
TBBT.
So, are we reading something? So why Vaani called us here?
Yeah. Let's randomly jump to page number 1. No, but it
One. Randomly
One.
jump to page number 1.
Let's read the preface. I liked that a lot. Let's read the preface. Why not?
Mhm.
Why he actually wrote the book. We are selling the book, basically. Yes. Okay. The Big Bang Theory. Oh, that Sheldon. Oh, that.
TBT is the Big Bang Theory. Oh God. Terrible.
I've been watching
Terrible.
the young Sheldon. I like him a lot. He's nice, relatable. Not the physics part, no. You guys are so quiet. It
So,
feels like I'm talking to myself with people watching me. Sorry. Oh, Samyak just paid us a super chat. I
I can't
can't
help
help
myself
my.
sending you super chat just because the topic you're discussing. I have to study for my entrance. We're talking about
Okay,
physics.
what?
That's why. That's what he meant. Booth.
That's
So good,
cool.
Booth.
Thank you, Samyak. Okay. All the best, Samyak, for your entrance exam. And let's get to the preface.
Mhm.
Do you guys have access to the preface?
I don't know. You can
Or do you
start
want to
reading
read the epilogue?
the end of it.
Yeah, no, I don't. Just let me know. I do not know how to make this decision here.
I found. Oh yeah, the epilogue looks interesting. Based
Yeah,
on
no?
oh,
Ooh, that's
a
interesting.
eulogy of sorts.
I can't find it.
Are we reading this? This is
Yes. What do you say, Dhruv?
Yeah, let's epilogue, right?
yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Why don't you go ahead, Dhruv? You've been the most quiet. So you get brownie points there.
Quietest Vaani.
Speaking,
Everybody, whoever
I said
studied
the
with
most quiet.
yeah,
I chose not to use the quiet test.
quiet has its own superlative.
But I chose not to use it. What is wrong with
Supriya ma'am
you?
would be disappointed.
But, but you can either use the thing.
Hmm.
You know what? Go to anime stream. Go back to Manali.
Sorry.
Next
Okay, go
time,
for it.
maybe you should try sending me a pillow, a photograph of you crying on that pillow. And then I'll consider inviting you again.
One, that's not a pillow, that's a beanbag, and it says you sit on a throne of lies.
I don't know, dude.
that's nice.
Please, Dhruv, read.
No, where is it at? I'm still trying to fill
Oh,
it.
it must be towards the
162.
end.
Ha.
Yeah. Pranshu just paid us 200 rupees. I think he wants you to start because he really likes you, Dhruv.
I don't like the tone of that one, but okay.
I
That's cool. Okay, one sec. Got it.
great.
A
And
eu-
maybe this can be the last letter that we read,
okay.
right?
Epilogue. A eulogy of sorts. Letter to Dad. Saturday, January 21st, 2017. Repass remarks. Dear Dad, thank you for a lifetime of wisdom you've bestowed upon me, drawn from moments, circumstances, and incidences in your life. With your permission, I'll share a few that for me rise above all others. I've never forgotten the story of your high school gym teacher who highlighted your body type as one that would not make me a good runner in the track and the field unit of class. Your reaction? Nobody is going to tell me what I cannot do with my life. You immediately took up running. You also ran in Hitler's Berlin Stadium for the 1946 GI Olympics. The post war world was not yet ready for a traditional Olympics, so the special event contested soldier athletes of the various theaters of conflict around the world. And by college, you became world class in middle distance races, at one time capturing the fifth fastest time in the world for the 600-yard run. Drawing upon that example for inspiration, I have overcome the most negative societal forces on my life's ambitions. I've never forgotten the story of your best friend Johnny Johnson, also a track star, competing in a meet against the New York Athletic Club. In the day, they of course admitted only wasps. So athletic blacks or Jews instead competed as teammates for the Pioneer Club, founded for that purpose. As Johnny came around the last turn in the quarter mile, he was ahead of the New York Athletic Club runner for several strides when he overheard the fellow's coach audibly yell to his runner, "Catch that nigger!" Johnny's reply to himself was simple and direct. "This one nigger, he ain't gonna catch," and lengthened his lead to the finish line. What today might be called microaggressions back then were paralyzed into forces of inspiration to excel. From that example, I've used such occasions in my life to excel beyond even the expectations I hold for myself. You told of immigrant grandma's work as a seamstress. Grandpa's work as night watchman for the food service company Horn and Hardart. A good thing because he would occasionally bring home leftover food when the money was tight. Your stories of strife were never hate filled, never bitter. Instead, they were hope filled and inspirational, conveyed with tentative confidence that the arc of social justice will continue to bend towards righteousness. I carry that vision for society's future into every day of my life. You studied hard in school and took your interest in social justice all the way to your appointment as Mayor Lindsay's Commissioner of New York City's Human Resources Administration. Journalists don't write articles about news that does not happen, but the programs you enabled in the inner city empowering the youth during the powder keg years of the late 1960s ensured that any unrest or disturbance would be mild. Sure enough, New York was calm compared to what went down in Watts, Newark, Detroit, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and especially in Chicago, Washington, D.C., and Baltimore, for which federal troops were called to quell the violence. You worked behind scenes on this, with your only reward the quiet knowledge that the nation's largest city did not burn during the most turbulent years of the most turbulent decade in the American history since the Civil War. Striving to do what is right without regard to who takes notice should be a model for us all. Your stories and perspectives about navigating the people, politics, funding, and legacies of institutions deeply informed my successful efforts to create from whole cloth a brand new department of astrophysics at the American Museum of Natural History. You taught me that in life, it's not good enough to be right. You also must be effective. For that, I now count the formation of that department as one of the highest achievements of my professional career. So, Dad, this thank you letter in death is simply public notice of what I have already thanked you for in life, bestowing upon me guiding principles for living my life to the fullest, and along the way, when possible, lessening the suffering of others. I know I will miss you because I already do. Cyril deGrasse Tyson. Is that it?
Yeah, I think so. I also want to thank Abhinav because Abhinav is trying to moderate our stream here, which is so nice of him. Thank you so much, Abhinav. Um, Sukaran, you disappeared on us.
Yes, because you guys very rudely sent me off.
Ah, look at you. So, what are your thoughts, Dhruv, about that epilogue? Because you were the one who read it word to word. Shall I
I
put a spotlight on you?
no, don't.
Yeah,
I think it's a beautiful story for I think Neil as a person because all of that history and all of that baggage, uh, it's a lot. I mean, we have seen it in popular media and we do know, but we don't know also to a certain extent as to what
sure.
kind of things happen to them and to their entire culture and their entire sense of identity was challenged to an extent. So for him to see that figure in his father and to understand all of the things that he was standing for, and that kind of gave him the energy to
Yeah,
make something of himself. That's very powerful, dude. Like you can understand the kind of things he's trying to convey, the love, the passion, the anger, the angst, all of these things. So yeah, I think it's very powerful.
do you have any thoughts, Sukaran? Saptarshi is assuming you
I'm
went
really
to
sorry.
cry. You went away to cry on the beanbag and click the picture.
I did cry. Yes, I
Did you
did.
send a
That is
picture?
that's the truth.
But if you read
I
the
sent it to Saptarshi as a DM.
because you want in on anime or what?
Yes, clearly
Good.
you've alienated me out
But
of
if you
here.
read the preface as well, I don't know if you did, Dhruv or Sukaran. Like the epilogue is kind of similar to preface. I like the preface as well a lot. It talks about his struggles as being, a person of color, an astrophysicist of color. Not a struggle per se, but like what people assumed of him, the prejudice against him. So that's interesting as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's tried to address that. I think there was a letter also wherein someone asked, how does the scientific
Yes.
community treat you for being black, or have you gotten the same level of respect? And I think this is really I think this the credit, I mean, it's inherent credit given to the scientific community, because they would not segregate you on the basis of class, creed, or whatever, because
True.
ultimately you're looking, or you're like going for something bigger than that. So I think he chose his profession very smartly.
Yeah,
And but yeah, the struggle is real.
true. Actually, I find this book like, I don't know. It might be one of the lighter reads and it might be a good introduction to Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he must have written better books, but I think it's a very, uh, it's kind of positive. Like the tone mostly is very positive, so it's a
Yeah,
little inspiring in some ways on occasions.
I would like to read that.
Do you read through or do you just listen to audiobooks?
I read plainly to show off. I'm a very superficial reader, so I I have this
I
of hoarding stuff. I mean, I just like covers, and I know about authors, and I know about concepts. But at the end of the day, I just end up reading a Wikipedia article or going into research papers. I really like that space,
Yeah.
much more my space. I have read some books. I do love some books, but I won't call myself as a reader at all. Like I
No,
can,
but whatever helps you,
yeah, yeah,
whatever
exactly.
helps you gain knowledge, yeah.
Right. I really want to get into the habit of reading, though. Maybe someday.
What about you, Sukaran? Do you read?
I can't do
Sukaran is busy in
audiobooks.
the
I haven't
I
been
can
able
see
to.
Sukaran's like strolling through the comments.
Reading the
He's
messages.
scrolling through the
Yeah.
comments, yeah.
People
He's
are
not
willing
paying
to
attention to whatever
buy
we're doing.
flight tickets. No. I of course कान से सुनता हूँ आँख से नहीं.
Dhruv won my heart with that comment. Now I will
Yeah.
try to become Dhruv's friend. Sorry, Sukaran. This is something Saptarshi has written.
Cool.
This made my
Yeah,
day.
I
This made
saw
my
that.
week.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Vaani is my
Dhruv,
best friend again. So
mission
Vaani, what I was
accomplished.
saying. Yeah, this
Yeah,
was the ploy, Saptarshi. You just walked right into it. Yeah.
It wasn't.
But I was, just today, yesterday, I had a conversation with these two students from this college in Jaipur called Gurukul School of Design, and they're super young. They're graduate students, and they're undergrad, sorry, and they were like, they were interviewing me on why would a Gen Z make a good fit in the workplace when some of the क्या बोलते हैं इनको associated stereotypes of Gen Z, yeah, that they're lazy and they're not hardworking and all. And I was like, it's just you're born in a generation, and every generation is defined by cultural artifacts, and your cultural artifact is the fact that you're born into the 15-second generation. You from day one have only received media that's 15-second long as a story or as a reel or as TikTok, and therefore if you don't like it in 15 seconds, you move to the next one. If you love it, you
True.
still move on to the next one in 15 seconds. We came by when I still remember when one of my school super seniors who had gone to IIT and therefore had access to high speed internet, and which was a privilege at that time, had downloaded Friends ke episodes, burnt it on a DVD and given it to me. And I was like, I was the bee's knees, man, because I had access to Friends episodes on a DVD. Because you couldn't do that, right? So for
Yeah.
us, where was
What
entertainment? Where
generation are
was
you from?
I'm 91 born, so I'm millennial. I'm
What
a
are you,
millennial.
Dhruv?
Yeah.
I'm a 93 born.
So
Am I
What's
the only
also
Gen Z?
millennial. Yeah. Are you Gen Z? You're not Gen Z. You're
I think I'm.
97.
Yeah, let me. I don't know.
So the idea being that for us to realize also that something is crap, if you're reading it,
Yeah.
it takes a while, all right? Because you're going to give it 100 pages, 50 pages, 30 pages before you say,
Yeah.
this sucks. I don't want to read this anymore. And I've done that to one or two books, right? That I cannot finish this book and I dropped it. Imagine a generation right now who gets to pick whether content is good, bad, ugly in the first 5 seconds. And if they love it, they'll stay for 15. Can't do that, right? So yeah, I don't think we consume media in the same way across generations. And by that measure, like,
I
I can't do an audiobook. I tried to do podcasts, and I only end up listening to them at 1.7x because I'm just like, अरे जल्दी बोल ना. इतना time क्यों ले रहा
I like
है?
podcasts. I listen to podcasts
Yeah,
every day
That's
while
something.
yeah, but
walking to the office and back from the office.
he was saying something. Dhruv was saying something, but we couldn't hear him. Dhruv, say that
That's
again.
not fair, man. Like I too, I think speak up faster. I listen to them at 1.5x.
Yeah, exactly. I've realized that unless I'm listening to music, my YouTube videos have to run at 1.5x. I'm just like, अरे जल्दी बताओ क्या बता रहे थे? Because and that's just, I think, because now we're used to consuming so much info so quickly,
I
and we're
feel
just like,
I
oh,
feel
be fast about
40
it.
already. I watch them at normal speed, except for जो वो हम college में देखते थे to understand a concept. I watch them at normal speed,
Hmm.
and I'm on the cusp of being a millennial and being Gen Z. So I don't know. I don't know where I went wrong.
Yeah, well, should we talk all the ways? But I do. To answer your question, yes, I do read Vani.
Yeah. Cool. So shall we end it here? I can
Yes,
see
I
it
think we're at
on
a perfect
everyone's.
time.
Yep. Cool, guys. Okay. So thank you so much for staying with us for as much as 115 minutes, guys. It means so much to us. And I think now we're going to go.
Why can you not be passive aggressive tonight? When you're cutting the stream, just be nice to everyone. 115 and it's God.
Yeah. Okay, cool. 116 minutes.
Oh no. Oh shit, I hate troubling you like this. Okay, but
But yeah.
thank you again, Vani, for inviting me, even though you have no reason to, and I clearly annoy the hell out of you. But
Hey,
yeah.
Dhruv, it was
And
really
thanks, Dhruv,
fun.
for letting us block you from speaking.
Just block me, Sukaran. I don't know. I feel like muting you right now, but that'll be very rude. But I love you. But thank you so much for joining us, Dhruv. I swear next time we would have thrown Sukaran off the.
Oh,
But
this was super fun. I would not want
There, guys. I think we have it on record now.
he was speaking.
Sorry, but you just admitted that you threw me off the stream. Thanks.
Okay, yaar, the guy
I'm
has
gonna
a
mute myself.
Yeah, but this was really fun, guys. And oh, is everyone mute, guys?
I can speak.
Cool. It was really nice of you to get me on this live stream, Sukaran. It was great to see you, my man. And I think let's do more of these.
That's cool. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's been 117 minutes. And I'm so glad all three of us are making it live from here. But yeah, cool. Take care. Thank you so much, guys, for watching us. Have a great evening and a good night. Bye. Take care.